Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Game Changer Movement Virtual Living Room. I'm here again with Antika Lisha, and we are we're kind of rolling along this journey. And one of the things that we've been talking about all week is just what it means to ask different questions and sort of how to create our parenting strategies based on asking different questions rather than the ones that we're sort of spoon fed by the media who wants to sell us something.
Mhm.
And admittedly, we're trying to create something that we want to eventually sell. So we're in fair balance, we're part of that consideration. So that being said, we want to be conscious as we delve into the same waters. And so more particularly, and I've been trying to dig up the sources all week, but there's this research that is sort of hasn't fully surfaced yet around not necessarily asking the question, do violent video games create or inspire youth to be more violent? But sort of like the reverse question, which is, tell me more about these people who are committing these large crimes and tell me what the commonalities are and what is it that the violent video games did to help, in essence, prime them to carry out that mission that they created in their heads and then acted out in the real world. And so there's research that says that one of the ways to, in essence, implicate violent video games as part of these horrific events is the fact that in order to get your blood pressure and your heart rate down to the levels where you could actually live into the mission of pulling the trigger that many times with that much accuracy, it actually needs to be, you in order to carry that out, you actually need the training. And that's what the violent video games can provide. So I feel like that's a hugely like heavy thing to share and say and be about. It's also a huge opportunity, because if we realize that violence and biofeedback and all these different things can work this way towards that end, how else can we use the biofeedback training, priming of the gaming world? Because it's proving itself to be such a powerful platform. And so that's where I'm really coming from an inspired place in this virtual living room on this new old virtual couch. And I just feel like it's time to start asking different questions. And so I would love to like just dive into almost like a brainstorming session, saying like, what would we love to use gaming to prime ourselves to be able to do, now that there's going to be more interaction with the sensor world. Like the new era of technology is basically what they call the Internet of Things. So we're going to wear garments that are connected, that are online, and giving us feedback. Anything from saying maybe you shouldn't eat that cheesecake to this is a better golf swing, and there'll be a golf shirt that will help monitor that. So there's lots of different ways to create. So I mean, one of the things that we want to do in the Game Changer movement is bring youth together with their parents, with other people that care, and create a list of possibilities, and then bring a team of coders together, youth, adults, and otherwise, who actually know how to bring this to light and to manifest this together. So, you know, I mean, all these ideas, all these thoughts saying, you know, this old process that says, first you got to come up with an idea, then you got to come up with the concept for the game, then you got to storyboard it, and then you got to hire the right team. All that's kind of different now. Like, you know, we can outsource and crowdsource, and, you know, all we need to do is hold the space for what we want to see in the world. So, I mean, that's what these virtual living rooms can be about, you know, is just to start holding the space and to start creating a vision that we all want to live into collectively. So, Antika, any thoughts on what you want to see? I mean, like, could you think of like an app or a game or some sort of thing with your kids that would help forward their development in ways that we couldn't access as when we were kids with the technology that we had at our fingertips? Did I lose you, or? So I know that there's like a game that asks people to, like, I think it's called Chore Wars. And there's sort of a point system in relationship to chores, and I think that's kind of a neat opportunity. And yeah, there's a lot of different opportunities. So I'm kind of curious. I think Antika's frozen. I think she's coming back in, maybe. Now she's dropped. Alrighty, here we are. So all that being said, you know, I feel like it is time to get really creative and to ask different questions. And with that said, it's you know, I just saw that there's this baseball game where there's a sensor that you can put on a baseball bat, and then it can become, you know, connected as a sensor that integrates and helps you get a better baseball swing. So, so there are all these different things and all these ways that we can prime our systems. And, you know, I mean, as a former marathoner and hopefully future marathoner, you know, there's software called Map My Run, which, you know, puts a sensor in your cell phone and lets you know how far you've gone and how fast you did it. So, so I guess I just feel like, as a parent of 3 virtual natives, digital natives, I feel like it's important for us to be an active part of creating possibilities that don't teach our kids how to kill. And it's really, really important. And I feel like that's what we're on the verge of putting together here with the Game Changer movement. So, you know, it's just important to, you know, sit on this couch and have these conversations and expand the conversation, and to invite more and more parents and gamers and programmers and coders. And I guess instead of saying coders and programmers, I'm going to say people who code. There's a group called Girls Who Code, and we may integrate with them in some way. So there's lots of different ways to grow this movement, and I feel like it all starts with asking the right questions. So that's what I've been, you know, called to talk about, and that's most of what I have to share today. I feel like I still have, you know, more and more pieces to put together from the BIF conference, the Business Innovation Factory conference that I attended several weeks ago in Providence, Rhode Island. And there are so many people to follow up with and so many pieces of the puzzle to put together. and it's just amazing. Like when you meet a person and then you find out who they're connected to and how small the world can get, how quick, so quickly. And so I'm excited about that. And locally here in Ithaca, we're probably going to start creating art really soon. And anyway, that's all in the works. So I don't know where Antika went. I'll probably jump back on if she shows up. But I feel like this is a pretty succinct message, and I'll do more diligence to try to post more of the source information about asking the right questions. And specifically, there is this, there are some interviews with police officers and other people who are part of the military who understand that the games are used for not really desensitization, but really to develop biofeedback, so that when things go from the virtual to the real world, people are primed, and that's a big deal. So I'm gonna sign out for now, and take it from there next week, and hopefully find more information about it and share another week's worth of updates. So thank you so much. This is a very interesting episode of the Game Changer Movement Virtual Living Room. I was with Antika Lisha for a few moments, but I guess she fell off for some technological reason. We had that amazing blood moon lunar eclipse last night, so who knows if that had anything to do with it. She's up in Alaska, so it was cloudy there, but it was pretty amazing here. Anyway, talk to y'all next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.